together. Come on. You ought to be in there.
You ought to been